Considering Homer's obnoxious drinking habits, one would imagine that he loses his memory regularly. But one day, Homer can't seem to recall anything at all, and his family is missing as well. Did Homer finally do something incredibly stupid? Or did his family grow tired of his antics and left him for good?
God, why would I want to wipe out my memory? What horrible thing did I do?
The Simpsons are chilling on their couch, but all of a sudden, the entire perspective changes. The family recedes into nothingness as the couch turns into the world, and the world turns into space. Soon, there is nothing but stars, and then molecules, and then everything goes back to the Simpsons on the couch. It's just a regular old day for Homer as he wakes up on the side of the pavement like a hobo. It has been snowing heavily, and Homer is eager to return back home. He checks the time on the clock and realizes that he can afford to sneak into bed, and then lie to Marge about coming in at night. But when Homer goes to the bedroom, he does not find Marge there. This worries the man, because Marge being at home is a guaranteed event, and if she's not there, it means that something is definitely wrong.
Hey kids, have you seen your mother? Or yourselves?
With Marge and the kids nowhere in sight, Homer believes that maybe everyone is having a family bath. And while that is slightly disturbing, Homer expects his family to be in the bathroom, but that results in more disappointment. Even the family dog hates Homer and barks at him. Homer has to jump on the table to save himself from the family dog acting up. It seems like his entire family has disappeared, and even the dog doesn't remember him. Homer runs off to Moe's tavern, because if he screwed up, that is the best source for any information. Moe reveals to Homer that he came rushing in the previous night, begging to forget something. And like a good barman, Moe concocted a volatile drink that can wipe out any memories. Moe calls this drink the Forget-Me-Shot. Homer has never heard of this drink, but thankfully, Moe made a video of himself making the drink. The Forget-Me-Shot probably makes you forget how to breathe as well. Moe adds all sorts of weird things in it.
First ingredient, the venom of the Louisiana lobotomoth. Come on.
This drink is what Homer had last night, and now he does not remember anything. When Homer learns this small detail, he freaks out. Surely he must have done something completely abhorrent, and this is why he wanted to wipe out his memory entirely. All of a sudden, Chief Wiggum chimes in. He was present at Homer's house the day before, and seems to know something about Homer's lost memories. Chief Wiggum explains that he was called to the Simpson house for a domestic disturbance. Homer is shocked to learn that Chief Wiggum was present, and all of a sudden, he recalls a piece of memory from last night. Homer remembers the police chief showing up at his house because of some disturbance complaints. Chief Wiggum then notices Marge has a black eye, and she tries to cover it up by blaming it on the door, but Chief Wiggum has already come to his conclusions.
Door, huh? That is the lamest excuse I ever... Bah!
When Homer remembers Marge's black eye, he starts wondering if he did something truly evil. Homer has not hurt Marge before. In fact, out of all the bad things Homer has done, domestic abuse is surprisingly not on the list. Chief Wiggum tells Homer that the person who filed the complaint is the one who could know more. But as a police officer, Wiggum isn't authorized to give out that sort of information. But there is only one person in Homer's life who cares about Marge more than her own husband, and that is Ned Flanders. Homer rushes over to Flanders' house to figure out why his nosy neighbor called the cops, but as expected, Ned is not willing to speak to Homer after the atrocities he has witnessed. Homer has now lost all threads, and he sits alone in his house wondering what could possibly have caused Marge to disappear just then, like a miracle. Homer sees a photo of Marge and recalls another missing piece of information from his shattered memory. Homer sees Marge begging for him to stop, and then somehow her eye gets injured.
Please!
Even after seeing this memory, Homer refuses to believe that he would do something so heinous to Marge. After all, he's just a goofball who hurts himself more than others, but still, Homer needs more proof. So, he heads over to the retirement home to talk with his father. Homer asks Grandpa Abe if he remembers anything, but the man is too old to even remember what he had for breakfast, even though Abe is not helpful. He tells Homer of a place where he can retract his forgotten memories and remember the past. After some time, Homer heads over to Frink, the local nerd. Frink has actually come up with a way to help recover lost memories, and this is just the type of borderline dangerous thing Homer needs to do, so that he can remember what happened last night.
This is great. I'm finally gonna find out how I ruined my family. Strap me in, nerd.
The contraption created by Frink looks like a death trap, but Homer has no choice. He gets connected to the machine and finds himself floating in his own memories. Homer comes across a memory of him having fun with Bart and Lisa. The father and kids actually share a nice moment together as they ride through the snow, but this is not the memory Homer is looking for.
Those bygone days of earlier this week. But I'm needed in a darker place.
Homer quickly moves on and finds all manner of memories floating by. Finally, he finds the memory from the fateful night. Homer watches on as his past self enters the home and finds Marge sitting on the couch, but she seems guilty of something. And then Homer notices a man sitting next to Marge. All sorts of assumptions enter Homer's mind. He now believes that Marge was having an affair.
Another man with my wife in my house on top of my TV guide?
Homer tries to find out more, but the memory stops there, and he realizes he needs someone smarter to figure this shit out. So, Homer pulls Lisa from his memories and brings her along to watch her mother potentially have an affair. Bart comes along for the ride as well, but before they continue, Bart has to make sure that he can beat up old versions of his dad, and this completely lowers any respect Bart had for his father. Homer then forgets about the task at hand and proceeds to strangle his own for several minutes.
Teach you to beat up yes to me? Ah!
Now that Bart and Lisa are also with Homer, he has a much easier time trying to figure out his memories. Homer shows the missing memory to his kids, and Lisa suggests that maybe Homer should try moving the bottle that is obstructing the view of the man next to Marge. When this method does not work, Bart provides his own unique solution and suggests that they should just kick the brain to get the memory rolling. After abusing Homer's brain even more, and definitely killing off his remaining thinking abilities, the memory finally moves forward, and Homer finds Marge sitting with Duffman, Homer's savior and icon. Seeing his wife with the ultimate love of his life makes Homer greatly upset, and he immediately pulls himself out of Fink's machine. Now that Homer has glimpsed at last night's events, he does not see any point in living. He lost his wife and his kids, and did something horrible in the process, so the only option left for Homer is to end it all. Something that he should have considered a long time ago.
Life is ruined. Goodbye, cruel world.
Before Homer can jump and find peace, he sees a light walking towards him, and he thinks that his guardian angel has shown up, but it's just Patty and Selma pulling up to finish the job. Homer is not happy that the last thing he will ever see in his pathetic life is the ugly profiles of Patty and Selma, but even this horrifying fact doesn't deter him from jumping to his demise.
Aren't trolls supposed to be under the bridge? Goodbye.
Instead of helping out Homer, Patty and Selma encourage him further, and when Homer sees that his unaliving would make the two devils happy, he refuses to go through with it. However, the diabolical sisters push Homer from the edge of the bridge, and he starts his fall towards the ultimate end. As Homer falls, his life flashes before his eyes, and a depressing life like that would convince anyone to fall over. In his final moments, Homer thinks about the events of last night as well, and finally, the entire memory plays out properly. It turns out that Marge was planning a surprise party for Homer, and she invited Duffman to sponsor the party. Duffman has even brought a new beer champagne, but Homer's greediness causes him to open the champagne right then and there, and in the hassle, the bottle accidentally hits Marge right in the eye. Duffman even brings out ice for Marge's eye, and the entire misunderstanding is solved.
Just giving it to your wife. She is gonna be sore tomorrow.
As Homer falls, he finally connects the entire situation and learns the truth. Thankfully, he didn't do anything stupid, like jumping from a bridge, right? But reality is cruel, and Homer braces himself from the impact, only to land on top of a bouncer. Homer ends up landing on the ship where his party is taking place, and everyone that he loves and hates has been gathered by Marge. Even Lenny and Carl congratulate Homer on his plan working, and it turns out that Homer felt bad about learning about Marge's surprise party, so he drank the toxic drink made by Moe. Homer also knew that he would have a misunderstanding and do something stupid, so he made sure that the party boat would have a bouncer for him to land on. Everything that was out of place started making sense. Marge lied to Chief Wiggum because she didn't want to invite his boring wife, and Patty and Selma really did try to kill Homer, but their plan failed. Homer still doesn't know why the dog barked at him, but Bart reminds his father that he is a horrible dog owner, and their family pet hates his guts.
Who's an angry dog? Who's an angry dog?
Now that the entire situation has cleared up, the party continues in full swing, and Homer is grateful that he managed to get someone as great as Marge. It was good seeing Homer going through his past memories, just like the time the Futurama crew went to the past and meet the Simpsons. If you want to see what happens, click on this video next, but not before. You subscribe and like the video.